Happy Pride, folks. From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are following at this hour. California recently caved to the demands of the president and partially banned a transgender girl from competing in the state championship for girls track and field. But the Department of Justice has decided to investigate the state anyway to see if its trans-inclusive anti-discrimination law has deprived cisgender girls and women of fair athletic opportunities. The investigation is just the latest instance of the president using federal investigations to intimidate states that refuse to ban trans female athletes from competing on sports teams matching their gender identity. On Wednesday, the Department of Justice announced that it had sent legal notices to California Attorney General Rob Bonta, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Thurmond, the California Interscholastic Federation, which oversees the state's high school sports, and the Europa Unified School District, where a 16-year-old trans track and field athlete rose to become a state long jump finalist. The Department of Justice is opening an investigation to determine whether Title IX, a landmark federal civil rights law prohibiting sex-based educational discrimination, is being violated by AB 1266, the letter said. AB 1266 is a 2013 state law permitting trans students to fully participate in activities, facilities, and programs based on their gender identity. The presidential administration has declared, contrary to the past president's policy, that Title IX's prohibition against sex-based discrimination doesn't protect trans students. In fact, the Department of Justice and the Department of Education have both said that Title IX specifically protects cisgender female athletes from having to participate in school sports with trans girls. Title IX exists to protect women and girls in education. It is perverse to allow males to compete against girls and take their trophies, said Harmeet K. Dillon, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, in the letter. This division will aggressively defend women's hard-fought rights to equal educational opportunities. In other news, support for marriage equality went up among Democrats to the highest level it has ever been in a newly released Gallup poll, while support for marriage equality among Republicans dropped for the third year in a row, creating the largest recorded gap between the parties on the topic. The Gallup poll asked people whether same-sex couples should be legally allowed to get married. Approximately 88% of Democrats said yes, up from 83% in 2024. But only 41% of Republicans said yes, down from a high of 55% in 2022. This puts the gap between Republicans and Democrats at 47%, the highest it has ever been for that poll question, which Gallup has been asking since 1996. Overall, 68% of American adults support marriage rights for same-sex couples, regardless of political party affiliation. This percentage has remained relatively stable since 2020, as Republicans and Democrats have drifted in opposite directions on the matter. The current president, who is the leader of the Republican Party, has never publicly supported marriage equality. "I just don't feel good about it," he said in 2011. "You know, for New York, it's like, how can you be against gay marriage? But I'm opposed to gay marriage. I'm just for traditional marriage," he repeated in 2015. After the Supreme Court ruled in favor of marriage rights in its Obergefell v. Hodges decision from 2015, the most the president would say about the matter is that it's settled and done. And this news from Ukraine. A Ukrainian drone attack has destroyed more than 40 Russian planes deep in Russia's territory, Ukraine's security service said on Sunday, while Moscow pounded Ukraine with missiles and drones just hours before a new round of direct peace talks in Istanbul. A military official who spoke with the Associated Press on condition of anonymity to disclose operational details said the far-reaching attack took more than a year and a half to execute and was personally supervised by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. In his evening address, Zelensky said that 117 drones had been used in the operation. He claimed the operation had been headquartered out of an office next to the local FSB headquarters. The FSB is the Russian Intelligence and Security Service. The military source said it was an extremely complex operation involving the smuggling of first-person view, or FPV, drones to Russia, where they were then placed in mobile wooden houses. Later, drones were hidden under the roofs of these houses while already placed on trucks. At just the right moment, the roofs of the houses were remotely opened and the drones flew to hit Russian bombers, the source said. Social media footage shared by Russian media appeared to show the drones rising from inside containers while other panels lay discarded on the road. One clip appeared to show men climbing onto a truck to halt the drones. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching these videos on the PEP Radio YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.